The coffee that we'll be including in the roasters pack this month is a Nicaraguan coffee. It's called Ojo de Agua. It's from the farm of Danilo Gonzalez. Here's where I have to look up region because I can't speak Spanish very well. In San Juan del Rio Coco. It's at a 1,200 meter above sea level elevation. And it's a beautiful little all-rounder coffee. The fragrance on this coffee when you first have it in the cup is one that will give you a slight nuttiness. Where last year was a bit of almond, this year we call it more of a praline. It's a sweeter kind of nuttiness that's present on the nose. Once you get into the first sip on this one, you're going to notice that it's a good balance with a little bit of bitterness that offsets the sweetness. Sweetness comes from a caramel that's developing into a molasses. We get the sweet praline, and then we get sort of a dried fig, if you will. It's a round fruit, and it's a beautiful mouthfeel. And the finish on it is definitely into those cacao nibs. That's where we're getting the chocolate developing. Really love it for that. The aftertaste that used to disappear in the last harvest is a little bit more present here. It's got a beautiful little linger to it because of the chocolate that's present. It works in just about every brewing method that we can throw at this coffee. We've used it as a single origin espresso here in the shop. We've definitely had customers very pleased with it in a French press or a pour over, Chemex, even a siphon pot. It does very well. It's just a very nice morning coffee. When we use it over on the pour overs, which is my preferred method to show off whatever is true of a coffee, it just does a beautiful cup, and you get better clarity on some of the notes like molasses and the dried figs that are present, and it tends to emphasize a bit of the cacao nib. When we use it on espresso, it becomes a chocolate punch. It's just a beautiful little mocha of a coffee when we get it there. So this is all fully washed coffee, and it's patio dried in the sun. But the quality went up this year. The mill made some improvements to the washing stages. So this is all hand-picked coffee, it's all shade grown, and this is all 100% Caturra from the Arabica. And when they made improvements to the washing station, it was basically a little bit for capacity and a little bit of the hardware that's involved in the float tanks and the processing that allows them to select for the best beans that are coming down. It was already a very high quality coffee last year. We were getting very, very low defect levels, and that defect level is even further reduced this year. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to roast a coffee where you're not always watching out for things like that. When we roast this coffee, we're doing a couple things intentionally. We're trying to make sure that the acid stays in balance on the coffee. So we're extending some of the phases after the first crack is starting to develop. We're reducing the temperature rate of rise, if you will, so that we can reduce some acidity. And that's also where the reduced acidity starts to reveal some of the chocolate tones. We don't have to go into a dark roast to get those chocolate tones. They're already present. This isn't that kind of a dark roast chocolate that we're talking about. It's a more natural mocha that's present, and we love it for that.